Good morning, everyone. I, Sanya Singh Singhal from ITM University, just welcome you all for our today's session, that is lesson plans and use of different types of AV aids. So to have this lesson plan, to have this session, we have a very prominent and renowned speaker, that is Professor Kiran Sharma ma'am from the School of Nursing and Research, Greater Noida. She has a specialization in medical surgical nursing with more than 15 years of experience in the academics. She has been awarded with Samaj Vikas Sansthan for excellent contribution to the field of medical sciences and also received Mother Teresa Award for excellent contribution to the field of medical sciences with more than 19 research papers in peer journals. Ma'am is a lifetime member of TNAI, that is Trained Nursing Association of India, Critical Care Nurses Society, and the Nursing Scholar Society. Plus, she is also a lifetime member of the Nursing Teacher Association, India. As we begin our session, I request you all to actively engage with Professor Kiran Sharma ma'am in understanding the session on lesson plan and use of different types of AV aids. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Professor Kiran Sharma ma'am. We are truly honored to have you. So ma'am, you are mostly welcome from our side, and over to you. Please go ahead. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to one and all. So first of all, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Is my voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are truly audible.
Okay, fine.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, you're not audible to us. You're not audible.
Okay, it's not fine?
Yes, it is now fine.
A very good morning to one and all. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Mini Anip, Dean SON IGM University, for making a part of this faculty development program on teaching pedagogy. Next, I would like to thanks to Miss Anushi Singh for giving me the opportunity and platform where I can expose my learning experience. So without wasting the time, I just start with my presentation here. Kindly wait for a minute. I'm just sharing my screen. I hope it is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So let's start with this. Today I have assigned with a topic lesson plan and use of different AVA types of AVAs. So let's start with a scenario. Like I'm just putting two scenarios, 1 and 2. So in one scenario, a woman is there who need to purchase the household things, and she go to the shop and start picking and put the things in the bucket and pay the bill and come to the home. Then she saw that still there are something which are missed to purchase. So then again she gone to the shop, and again she noticed, then she purchased, and again she noticed that still something's missed, and this process goes on. Okay, in the second scenario, the woman is there. She felt that the need to purchase the household, the same things from the market. But before reaching to the shop, she make a list of all items of household, and by checking the household inventory and of her home, and then she go to the shop and then purchase. This scenario you can switch to the this online purchasing also. So what do you think? Like in the first scenario, she didn't plan for the thing. In the second scenario, she planned and she saved her time, money, many things. Okay, so if we put the, what I want to say here, like if we do the planning, there would be saving of time, labor, money, etc. and we can achieve our goal in a limited time frame. So my aim to project this scenario is to tell you that planning is not essential in teaching, but in spheres of human activities also. For being effective, every intelligent individual plans out his or her work. So from this, we can reach to a point where we can say that a man who does not plan long ahead will find a trouble right at his door, right? So my topic is lesson plan. So you can make out from this picture, there's two pictures. One is a person is planning tonight for the tomorrow, and if we do what this picture tried to say, like if we don't plan tonight for the tomorrow, then definitely the tomorrow will be panicking for us. Like we will be worried at the time when we are doing something. Okay, so we can say that a plan prepared lesson plan is a plan prepared by a teacher to teach a lesson in an organized manner. Or we can say that it is a blueprint of what a teacher is going to do in a class in a particular hour. So we can also say that lesson plan is the teacher's roadmap of what the students need to learn and how it will be done effectively during the class time. Then you can design appropriate learning activities and develop strategies to obtain feedback on the student learning. So we can say that the lesson plan tell us how, what, when, and where the learning is to be provided. So in simple terms, we can say that what is lesson? Lesson is the thing which can be or which to be learned by people. And the second is, it is the amount of teaching given at one time within the time assigned. What is the plan? Plan is nothing. It's the process in which the process of logically organize the teaching activity for a course or a program. It helps the teacher to cover topic comprehensively with proper sequence of points and without missing anything. Or we can say that it is an amount of teaching done within a time frame, right? So next comes your this picture. So what this picture tells, like if we join the lines, okay, so it gives as a whole. So what this picture trying to say, that it is not like that like uh, suppose is a course is there. Course means subject. Okay, so in a subject there's a number of units. So each unit play a equal contribution. Without, if we suppose a particular course is comprises of 15 units, okay, and we studied only 5 units, it means we have not accomplished the whole goal, or we have not got the whole concept of that particular course or that particular subject. So lesson plan is basically it's based on a Gestalt theory. What this theory is the same which I have tried to convey you through that picture, that each unit plays an important role in your learning, because the learner usually takes the help of units in understanding the whole concept. Means the part conveys the whole, and the meaningful activities related to each other within a unit. So these activities provides the purposeful learning experience and the learner understand the whole concept. So what are the purpose of uh, lesson plan? So the purpose of lesson plan, like it ensure the definite objectives for the day's work. So what we have to do in the coming days, that objectives we plan through a lesson plans. it keeps the teacher on a track. Means it should not go away from the track. So ensures selection, presentation, and interpretation of the subject means. It makes the proper understanding and explanation of the subject matters. It helps to choose the effective method of teaching, enables to evaluate the teaching sessions, and helps to review the subjects and give up to date knowledge. So we can also say that through planning, the teacher can make out that which age will be the best to teach to participate. Next, the lesson plan clarifies the idea, and definitely it gives the confidence to the teacher and stimulates the teachers to think to related material, illustration, and audio-visual aids. So it also enables teachers to organize classroom teaching activities, develop reasoning, imagination, decision-making ability by the teacher. It facilitates micro-teaching. So what is micro-teaching? Is a teacher training technique for learning teaching skills, right? And it helps to get deeper knowledge regarding the art of teaching. We can say that. Okay. Beside the mentioned purpose, we can some other purposes we can also say that, like the lesson plan prevents the haphazard teaching. It also avoids the repetitions. It minimizes the chances of uh, anything which is some like it puts a emphasis on the important points, right? So these can be the purposes of lesson plan. Now directly jump to the principles of lesson plans. So uh, we should use the lesson planning as a practice rather than as a theory. Okay, so what is a rule of thumb? Is a rule or principle that follow which is not based on exact calculations, but rather on experience, right? So the teacher must have mastery of and adequate training in the topic. Needs to be fully conversant. Means that the teacher should know fully known with the new methods and the techniques of teachings, needs to organize the material in an organized rather than a logical fashion. It should be systematic, must ensure active student participate. Like my voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are absolutely audible to us.
Something else is like disturbing me. Okay, fine. So I was talking about like the principles of the lesson plan. So the lesson plan must ensure active student participation. The learning should always in a active. It should not be passive. Like teacher comes to the class and he or she is just telling about the things and all, and the students are sitting and they are just listening passively. It's not gives anything to us. Okay, it should be interactive way. It should be active. This whatever the teacher is saying, the student is also responding to it. If the student is fully participating in the teaching, should use different teaching learning methods. So what can be the characteristics of a good lesson plan? So first of all, the objective should be very, very clear, okay? And it should be linked with the previous knowledge of students. So suppose it should not be like that, like the new topic you have taken and previously the students know nothing about that thing. Suppose I have to take the head injury topic for the student. Previously, I should finish the review of the anatomy and physiology of the brain. So it should be in this manner. Okay? Should show specified illustrative aids. So like the whatever the aids you are using, it should be self explanatory aids will be there. So should contain suitable organized subject matter, should be divided into unit. It should not make the student passive learner. That is very, very important. The learning should always be in an active way. There should be flexibility in changing lesson plan. So it should not be like this. The whatever you have planned and you have to go with that in a class when you entered and you have seen like suppose one topic you have taken and you have seen that the students know better than and they have like you have given time 5 minutes for that particular to cover that particular topic and you have seen that students they are easily understood the topic and still 2 minutes are there, so you can do something as in that. So it should not be like you can add the topics, you can delete the topics. So it should be flexible. Okay. Should include the summary of the whole lesson. The lesson plan should contain the summary. And lesson plan should be in such a way that it should provide full justification to the all the students. All the students means this all students of the class should be fully satisfied with your teaching, with the help which are you going to take with your lesson plan. Should plan for student assignment. The assignment should be given to the students. Must have plan for self-criticism and self-evaluation of the lesson. Now comes to the prerequisites for making good lesson plans. So what are the pre-requirements for making the good lesson plan? So definitely the student for making a good lesson plan, the teacher should have a good knowledge about that particular topic. The teacher should have the knowledge about the student interests, traits, and abilities. They should the mastery over the subject. Then principles of she should know what is the principles of teaching and learning, and teacher should also know about the individual differences among the students. Means she should know about the person or students in individuality, right? Definitely, the pre-requirement is the knowledge what the students already possess about the topic. You should know, suppose I have to take the head injury topic. I should know whether the students are know about the anatomy and physiology of in this head brain or not. I should know about it, and accordingly, I have to plan. If I know that students don't know about it, so I have to include the review of anatomy and physiology of brain in the lesson plan. So, organization of material in psychological as well as in a logical fashion. The teacher should know the fully new methods and techniques of teaching. So definitely, again, this point has come that there should be an active student participation should be there. Active learning should be there. So now come directly moves to the steps in lesson planning. So first step is preparation or introduction, then presentation, then comparison or association, then generalization, application, and recapitulation. So preparation or introduction. So before the first step is to prepare or introduction. So how we have to introduce, like how the introduction contains what? Suppose I have to take a class on head injury. So I have to just not directly announce the topic in the class. I have to just make an introduction in such a way the students get, they feel curious, like what the teacher is going to tell about us today. So like, suppose I have to take the head injury, so I have to frame an introduction in such a way that the students like guessing like what, and like it become interesting for the students. Then next comes to the presentation. So while presenting your lesson plan or while taking your class, use appropriate teaching aids systematically. and effectively and productively. Aids should be visible to, like, aids which are using, that should be visible to the whole class, and active participation and active learning should be there. Then you have to budget the time according to the steps of the lesson and never rush through the lesson. Okay, all steps of the lessons should be given due time and pay individual attention to the pupil whenever it is needed. So, and you should be like, you should be, when while taking the class and all, you should be take care of the back benchers, like be natural and do not stand like a statue. The teacher should not stand in the class in a statue way. She or she has to be move in the class, because he and she has to take what the focus on, or focus to the all the students, what they are doing, whether they are listening, whether they are engaging in something. Now the mostly the students are engaging. We have like everyone has come across in the class that we found these students, they are engaging in mobiles and all, that putting the mobiles in the your notebook and all, they are writing the notes, and they pretend like the teacher should, they try to show that they are writing the note, but internally they are busy with their mobiles and all. So like we have to, so this is very important, the teacher should move in the class. So do not put your, like, there's some mannerism which the teacher has to follow in the class. The teacher should not, if we tell students not to put uh, hands in the pocket, the same way we should also be like this. So we should not put our hands, the teacher should not put our hands in the pocket, and we should not lean on the chair or the table. You have to be in moving condition in the class. Okay. Then avoid playing with the material. Suppose we are writing, we are having the pen with us, and the board is there, and the whiteboard is there. So we want to some write, then again, we have written on the board, and we have the pen holding in our hand, and we are just playing with it, like we are throwing it. It should not do like this. Okay. Then avoid verbalism. Then economically, be economical in the use of your language. Today's we have like we got the complaints from the students also, like sometimes influent, sometimes some words we use which the students don't like, and really it is not acceptable by the students. So we have to be very we have to be taken care of our words which we use. Okay. Then next, this is all about the presentation. Next, third is your comparison and association. So comparison, we have to give the examples to the students to show the comparison if we want to clear any topic to the students. Then next is your generalization. Generalization is nothing, it is a conclusion. Generalization means conclusion. So through generalization, it gives to a reflective thinking, which allow us to recognize your own strength and weakness and use this to guide on giving learning. For example, to a particular situation, we need to uh, we need to we need to think that suppose if I will be on this situation, so what can I do there? Suppose for I just one example I want to give you. Suppose it means, I just want to try make you understand that suppose if today I used to avail the conveyance of the college, so and I miss my bus. Uh, so I have to think like what next I have to do so that I cannot miss my bus. So it means I have to reflect back and I have to see, okay, usually I start from my home at 7:15. And then I reach here like this and I miss my bus. So I have to start 7 o'clock so that I cannot miss my bus. So this is the generalization, this is the refracting. In our nursing terms, we can say that suppose this patient comes to us and uh, the patient is not recovered because maybe I have not done this. So if I will do that, so maybe my person recovery will be this. So this is all generalization. Next, your application. So application part, the action you have to take on, then recapitulation. That is very, very important. What is recapitulation? It is nothing, but it is a concise summary of your teaching. Okay, means it is an act or instance of summarizing and restating the main points of the topic. How you can do it? You can ask the important question related to the topic, uh, and in return, if you can also take the feedback side by side. Means whatever the topic you have covered, you just ask the important questions related to it, and side by side the response will comes from the student side. It tells about that, like this, how much the student understand. Like this way you can evaluate your teaching also. So this is all about the recapitulation. I have already told about this: preparation or introduction, presentation, then comparison or association, then generalization, application, then recapitulation. So now next comes your types of lesson plan. So basically there are three types of lesson plan, like in which uh, one is cognitive domain, then second one is affective domain, then psychomotor domain. In the cognitive domain, you prepare a lesson plan which is mainly focused on the knowledge part. Then effective domain, you prepare a lesson plan which is based on the appreciation. So effective domain, what it means, mainly effective domain focused on feeling, values, appreciation, enthusiasms, motivation, and attitudes. So what are the learning activities related to affective domain? The learning activities related to the affective domain are the brainstorming ideas, group discussions, problem solving, activities, role plays, written assignment, etc., etc. Next comes your psychomotor domain. So psychomotor domain, the lesson plans basically based on the skills. Now, next comes the forms of lesson plan. So there are three forms of the lesson plan. So one is Harbachian approach, second is Bloom's or evaluation approach, and the last is Regional College of Education MESU approach. So what is Harbachian approach? So it is given by Frederick Harvard in 1776 to 1841, a German philosopher and great educationist. And this approach is influenced by the classical human organizational theory. It means like what particularly it approach to means the previous knowledge of the student is considered in preparing lesson plan. It focused in this particular, but their abilities, attitudes, and values are not taken into consideration while designing the lesson plan. It is free from the what the students having abilities, what are the attitudes of the students, and what the values they are having there. It is not considered in this type of lesson plan approach. Next comes Bloom's approach. So it is given by B.S. Bloom in 1961. So it is particularly, he has made education as objective-centered rather than the client-centered. And his approach of lesson planning is termed as evaluative approach. It is totally the evaluative approach. So in this, the slide is showing the tripolar process in Bloom's approach. So first is your formative educational objectives, second creating learning experience, and evaluating change of behavior. So it particularly this Bloom's approach focused on setting out the educational objectives and presenting your things and the evaluation. Next is the RCEM approach, and it is developed by Indian educationists at Regional College of Education, Mysore. And this particular type of approach or design of lesson planning consists of input, process, and output. So we need to know about what is this input, what is this process, and what is this output. So input. It includes the identification of objectives. They are known as expected behavior outcomes. That in short, we can also say as EBO, and their objectives are classified into 4 categories. So like knowledge, understanding, application, and activity. And next comes the process. In this, the process, the process, they are the teaching strategies is selected for achieving the objectives. In this, the steps which are included, they are like communication strategies and ABX, learning situation, and providing uh, appropriate techniques of the motivation. Next is output. So what is output? It is in this, the aspect of instruction procedure includes the real learning outcome. So, and like in this, we are evaluating the students, we are taking the feedback from the students. That is the output. And I should say that like ICM approach means the lesson plan format, which it is having, it is the best one because it includes all the 3: input, process, and output. So now comes to the guidelines for pupil teacher while doing teaching practice. So if a student teacher and he or she is doing her teaching practice, so what guidelines he or she has to possess. So every activity you undertake needs to be carefully planned. So whatever the activity he or she is going to do, that should be fully planned and executed. It should be like the student teacher should be well groomed and well dressed. He or she should be mentally and physically alert. The voice should be clear, pleasing, and well modulated. He should know where she has to up the voice, where she has to low the voice. Everything where she has to pause. Everything should be clear. So the lesson plan should be prepared thoroughly, and it should be taken into account the probable questions that may be put to you by students during the course of your lesson. Divide the lessons into suitable sections, then illustrate your teaching through example. Whatever you are teaching, try to explain through with the help of example. Use correct and definite language. Be friendly and understanding. Use audiovisual aids properly. Teach the whole class and note a few students sitting on the front benches. Means you have to move it. Then only you come to know whether the students are listening you or not. Develop the read it blackboard as the whiteboard summary along with the like whatever you're teaching. You should write the summary points on the whiteboard. Be sure that everything you write on the whiteboard is correct. It should be correct. Always be punctual in the class. So what is the psychology of the student? Suppose the class is going to be start at 10 a.m. and you go by 10:05. So student, it comes in their psychology that these teachers always come at 10:05. So like if they have gone for washroom and all, they come by 10:10. So 5 minutes late. So always be in the class, be punctual. Make all possible efforts to base the discipline in the classroom on cooperation rather than moralizing. Try to forget that you are being watched over by the, like sometimes we think that like he or she is seeing my teaching and all. We should not bother about all these things. So don't criticize. Suppose we go to the class and students are complaining about the other teacher, and like we should not criticize the this. We should not do that. Okay. Then try to cultivate the spirit of happiness and success in the class. And when you are writing on the board, try to see back also, because once you get engaged in writing the things on the whiteboard, the students they start with their own. So one word, take the response from this class, and you should try to move or see back and use the pointer to show some places on the map or the chart. Avoid mannerism and pat phrases, like sometimes we say, yes, sweetheart, and these types of pat phrases we should avoid in the class. Do not feel nervous when you are supervisor visits your class. Give due attention to the views of the supervisor. Accept criticism without getting your feelings hurt. So now directly move to the lesson planning format. I just make a word form and I will try to explain you through that. I hope it is visible to all. So this is the format I have made for you, and this format of lesson plan is as per the QCI, the Quality Council of India. So this is the right, we have like the different institutes are having their different format of this lesson plan. So this is the ideal one, which is given by the QCI in Quality Council of India. So first of all, the front page, the lesson plan on the topic which we are going to take. Then you have to write to whom it is prepared by. So name, designation, subjects. Then next comes your general information. So in the general information, you can see here the subject, unit, topic, class, group class, batch, method of teaching, subject prerequisite. Subject prerequisite means here, like suppose I have taken again, I'm giving the same example. Suppose I have to take the head injury, because this lesson plan I have made on head injury. So suppose I have to take the head injury. So like the subject prerequisite for this head injury is like the student should know about the anatomy and physiology of brain. So this is subject prerequisite. Then teaching method, then aviate or instructional aviates, name of presenter, name of supervisor, date and time, place, duration, everything. I think you are following the same. Then next comes your objectives, and under objectives, the two types of objective, general objectives and specific objective. General objectives comprises like as a whole, out of this particular, as a whole, what you are going to get. So at the end of the teaching, the student will acquire knowledge about head injury and will apply this knowledge in the clinical field. So next, specific objective. Specific objective is the important objectives. Like in this particular topic, what you are going to take. Okay, so at the end of teaching, the student will be able. If you write the able to, then there is no need to write to like this. Then to introduce the topic, to define. So like what words we have to use for the specific objective. We should not use the sorry, I have used here enlist. Otherwise, the enlist word is replaced by the enumerate. Okay, then discuss, explain, describe, enumerate, list down. We don't use this word now. It's enumerate word we are using for it. And like this, we have two the specific objectives. Then this is the particular format. So it contains time, specific objective, content, teaching, teacher activity, learner activity, ABL, and evaluation. In time, you have to divide the time. Suppose you are going to take 45 minutes. So like accordingly, you have to divide the time to a particular things. So specific objective to define the head injury, then content regarding the head injury. Then what is the teacher activity here? The teacher defines the head injury. The learner's activity, students will listen. And aviate, like PPT you are going to use. So evaluation, what is head injury? And like this, if it is possible, then particular PPT, now it's a digital word. So it is easily cut and paste. So whatever the PPT for particular topic you have made, you can paste the picture of that PPT slide on this lesson plan. So this is all just suppose just like this. I have pasted the picture. Suppose I want to tell about the concussion, contusion. So I have pasted that picture on the lesson plan. So this is all about this.
Ma'am, your PPT is not visible. Sorry for interrupt, ma'am, but your PPT is not visible.
It's not visible.
Yes, it's not changing. Ma'am. Yes. Only we can see the lesson planning.
Just a minute. Now, just a minute.
No,
It's a
ma'am.
word,
Just,
actually, not a PPT, it's a word form.
ma'am, just stop the screen share, then again share the screen, then we can see.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am, now it is visible.
Okay. Now it is visible. Just a minute. Again, I am. Just a minute. Now it's fine.
Yes, ma'am, it's fine now.
Okay. But it's not fine to me. Just a minute. Okay. Now it is visible that conclusion, evaluation, and recapitulation assignment. Okay, so this is all about the format. So at the end, we need to write the conclusion. And conclusion, as I have said, we have to write the reflective thinking. So as a whole idea of that particular topic, we write as a conclusion. And then evaluation and recapitulation. So what what will be the question you are going to ask in the class that you have to write, with which you can assess the student as well. So assignment, then references, you have to write it. So again, we move to the topic, as this I have covered, lesson planning. So next comes to the audio visual 8. So I hope that you understand about the lesson planning. Now comes to the audio visual 8. I have to finish it very fast. So what are audio visual aids? And these are the, in simple terms, we can define it, that the AVAs are the teaching tools that makes learning easy for the students, and they make learning effective and interesting. And AVA is an instructional device in which the message can be heard as well as seen. So what can be the purposes of AVAs? That they enables audience to listen. It makes the learning interesting. It is a quick phase of learning, develops knowledge, adds newness to the lesson, bring change in behavior, and stimulate curiosity, contact with the reality, clear, accurate image, increase attention and concentration, and the active participation, that active learning, it enhance. So, like there's a one Chinese proverb is there. If I hear, I forget. If I see, I remember. If I do, I know. No. So this is that people generally remember 10% of what they read, 20% what they hear, 30% what they see, 50% what they hear and see, and 70% of what they say, and 90% of what they as they do. Means whatever they are saying, they are doing that, they remember 90% of that. So in some books, I have read that if we see the things, we get the 87%. If we hear the things, we get 7%. If we smell the things, we get 3%. If we touch the things, we get 2%. And if we taste, then it will give 1%. So what are the characteristics of a good instructional aid? So the good instructional aids, they are like, must be adapted to the intellectual maturity of the students. So they should be meaningful and purposeful in that whatever the aids we have made, like the purpose of your teaching should be fulfilled by it, and should be simple, cost effective, up to date, easily portable, and large enough to be seen by the whole class. Means the size of an AVA matters a lot. Suppose you are having the group of 100 students and you are using a chart of the normal chart size, so it won't work. Okay, that you have to see what is the number of your audience, and so it should be visible to the whole audience. So what can be the size of your AVs? Now comes to the principle for effective use of audio visual aids. There are 6 principles. First of all, the principle of selection. So AVA should suit the teaching objective. It should meet your teaching objective, and you have there should be a unique characteristic of special group of learners. You have to see to which group you are going to teach a class. You are going to take a class. What the age of the students there, what the grade level is there. Accordingly, that you have to select your AVAs and try to select the AVAs which are true representatives of your real things, and try to select these AVAs which stimulates the interest and motivation. Then next, the principle of preparation. So try to use like prepare the AVL which comes in under your budget, and try to locally available material which are there. You can use with the help of that to prepare your material, and it should be well prepared. The color combination you have to see, the symmetry you have to see, the size font you have to see, everything you have to see while preparing for the AVL. Principle of physical control. So the arrangement of the AVLs should be safely to facilitate their lending to the teachers for you. It should not be like you have kept one AVL here and then one there, then you are coming, which one you need to show. Like it should not be in haphazard manner. It should be in a proper placing of the AVL should be there. Then principle of proper presentation. Already we have discussed like how we have to present. So whenever you are presenting your AVH, it should be like proper handling should be there, and so that it should not be damaged, and proper display of the AVH is very essential. Suppose you are showing the flashcards. So like suppose these are the flashcards. So like how you have to show to the class. If like you just hold like this, or like it's not workout. You like your thing, you should be also visible to the audience, and your AVS should also visible to the audience. So like you have to hold in such a way. Okay, then you have to move. So like the proper handling and displaying of the AVS is very important. That is all comes under your principle of proper principle of proper presentation. Then comes the principle of response. So like the teacher should guide the students to respond actively to the audio visual stimuli, so that they derive the maximum benefit in learning. Then lastly comes your principle of evaluation. So the continuation evaluation of the event should be done. So this is all about the principle for effective use of audio visual aids. So now the factor, let's see the factors very fast, like which influence the selection of the AVS. So your objective and purpose can influence if they are not directed properly, they are not framed properly. So your selection of the audio visual aids is also get reflected by it. So nature of the audience. So like suppose you are going to teach, you are going to give the health education to village people, and you are writing and you're making aviars in English language, and you are making something as which they are not about. So you have to make the aviate for, you have to select the aviate for them in such a way that they can be easily understand by them. Okay, then number of audience, age, education, interest, experience, knowledge of the subject, cost, skill in selection and preparation, and knowledge of resources. So these all factors influence selection of AVAs. Now comes to the criteria for selecting audio visual aids. So what while you are selecting your AVAs, so what criteria you should see? The teacher has to put the following questions in mind. First, do the material give a true picture of idea? Are they meaningful? Is the material appropriate? Is the physical condition satisfactory? Do they improve human relation? Is the material worth the time and effort? If the teacher finds it satisfactory, then he has to choose the material. So now guidelines for the selecting and making AVS. Again, understand it should be easy and understandable, simple, direct, focus on key points, good working condition, time, place, accuracy, presentation, brief, clear and easy. Letters should be neat, and the space should be there should be space between the letters. There should be space between the lines. It should be interesting and positive attitude, natural, attractive colors you should use. And like for the heading, which color we have to use for the down, the whole topic, which color we have to, we never use the red colors because it's get reflected. So like these points, we have taken care. So what are the advantages of AVAs? So AVAs helps in interaction, they improves the critical thinking, source of experience, and it gives the greater knowledge. It helps in the to remove the communication problems, and student in the large classroom may not be able to see demonstration or a small model. So you have to see size and all have already told to you. Then the types of AVAs everyone knows, but I'm just reviewing this very fast. Audio aids, visual aids, or visual aids and activity aids. Audio aids which can be here. And for example, like health education, public awareness, provide information. The types of audio aids are radio, tape recorder, gramophone, compact discs, and voicemails. So I'm not going into the detail of it. So this is all about then visual aids that are projected and non-projected visual aids, which can be seen, and projective and non-projective aids. And under the projective visual aids, the maps, cartoon charts, poster, chalkboards, field charts, specimen booklet, leaflet, pamphlet, graphs, panel boards, and bulletin boards. You can have the pictures, the maps, then cartoons, charts. Now comes to the types of charts as we go through it. Tree chart, if a tree chart, stream chart in a river flow, okay, like waves of rivers, and like the top wave and the low wave, the between, if we want to make them understand some topic in such a way, so we can use the stream charts. Tabular frame in the table form, flow charts, they are organization chart, right? Then this is the tree chart, then organization chart. This is the your river stream chart, and this is your you can see flow chart and okay. So these are all interest. I don't want to go in detail of it. With charts, graphs, different types of graphs, line graphs, bar graph, simple bar graph, multiple graph, pie graph, vectorial graph. So these are line graphs, bar graph, simple bar graph, as well as multiple bar graph. This is one is simple bar graph and one is multiple. This is pie chart, pictorial graph. So specimen, then booklets, digital pamphlets, panel boards. So panel boards like so like we make any suppose any whenever we are making a panel board in such a way that after pasting over the picture, the whole concept comes out from that, like one whole picture, it completes as a whole. It's not like we are just pasting something but it is not conveying any message to us. It should be conveying a proper message to us from that. The bulletin board, we all are maintaining in our schools, our colleges. Projective slide projector, microfilm projector, overhead projectors, audiovisual aids. So hence the audiovisual aids are the teaching methods which could be heard and visualized at the same time. So these are the audiovisual aids: television, LCD projector, and computer. And I think so. Last part is developing learning resources. It is also through the effective use of audiovisual aids are planning, preparation, presentation, and evaluation. Means you have to plan, means you have to select which area will be the best for the group, and then you have to prepare that, and then you have to present, well presented, and then you have to take the evaluation. So this is all about the lesson plan and the use of different types of behaviors. I'm very pleased to answer the questions or doubts of the audience. They are most welcome to ask. I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible now.
I'm just stop sharing my.
Participants, you can ask a question if you have any doubt regarding today's session. So you can ask to ma'am. You can send the message in message box also. Otherwise, you can ask. I think, ma'am, no one have any doubt.
Okay, thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
Thank
So very good morning. I'm Dulab Singh Pariyar, Assistant Professor, School of Nursing Science, ma'am. On behalf of everyone, should like to extend our deepest gratitude to Professor Kiran Sharma for the enlightening lecture on the lesson plan and use of different types of AVAs. Professor Kiran Sharma, ma'am, your insights have truly enriched our understanding of lesson plan and use of different types of AVAs. Now I would like to call Ms. Anusha Singh, Associate Professor, SONS, for word of thanks. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Dolo. Acknowledging the good that we already have in our life is the abundance for all. I, Anusha Singh, Associate Professor on behalf of School of Nursing Science and Research, ITM University, and the entire fraternity of the institution. It's my great privilege to propose a vote of thanks, mainly to our speaker, Dr. Kiran Sharma, Professor, School of Nursing Science and Research, Greater Noida. Thanks, ma'am, for sharing your great knowledge and skills on preparation of lesson plan and ABAs. It's of great value for all of us following in the series of teaching pedagogy. The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation for goodness. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to Dr. Mini Anand, Dean Sons, for her support and guidance she has extended for all of us. I will extend the vote of thanks to our organizing team, the collaborating team, the admin staff, and the respective faculty for making this FDP happen so productively. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated team. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Anushi. Once again, I'm thanking to you that you have given me the opportunity and platform for expressing my learning experience. Thank you a lot.
So tomorrow we are going to meet again for the next section. Have a good day.